Welcome back to the City of Palms podcast. Two brothers got together and started a podcast to shine light on talented individuals in the Southwest Florida area. Thank you for watching, viewing, and subscribing.
Episode 111 with Saiyajinka.
Whew, 111.
Yeah, 111.
Where did that name come from?
Saiyajinka. It was the combination of the Saiyan culture, just because I was making the Dragon Ball art, but in the same time, like Inca is like the Incan culture, like the Aztecs and the Mayans. Peru had the Incans, so it was like an Incan that was a Saiyan. So like the Saiyan of an idea of like that, the human that faces challenges and is able to overcome it, Goku style type shit. So it was that's the whole idea of like where the story begins. Like
Hero's journey, bro. So you're Peruvian?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Were you born and raised here?
No, born over there, and I came when I was like 10.
Nice.
So I've been here ever since.
What was that transition like, coming from that country here to like, what grade is that? Like 4th grade, 5th grade?
Almost, yeah, because I did like half of 5th grade, and again I was put into like an interesting situation, because I remember half of 5th grade, and it was when they were doing the whole DARE thing. I had no idea what DARE was, because like there was like drugs weren't introduced the same way in South America as they were here. Like there wasn't programs trying to push kids not to do drugs. So that whole thing I didn't know about. I took a bunch of like that special ed classes like for the Spanish speaking kids, so I was always like aside from everybody else. But I remember the first like saying or quote that anybody showed me was like, this dude goes like, yo, say what's up homie G, and I'd be like, yo, what's up homie G, and that was like the only thing I knew how to say. And they're like, hey, yo, tell him I'd be like, yo, what's up homie G, and that was like my thing, you know what I mean? So like and so like a lot of that's like I remember it, but like I don't remember what it was like going from there to here, because to me, like back then, like the way I was raised over there, it was like people from the United States were in a sense better. Like they were wealthier, they had better things. Like my aunt used to send us things from the United States to Peru, and it was like things you wouldn't think of seeing, like some crazy realistic looking alien mask, or like a backpack with like a Godzilla coming out right when like the Godzilla movie had come out. So it was like things that you were like, bro, they live in this place where like all these things are real, and the things that you saw in the movies were real. And so when we came, it was like, you know, like my parents, like I see even the reason we came was because like there wasn't anything left for us in Peru. Like it was one of those things where like my parents saw the opportunity, saying like, yo, we're close to nothing, so let's just sell what we got and take off. And so we came, and you know, God knows how much money my dad could have had in his pocket. But we fortunately came to a family's house in Miami. Shit went down. We're in Tampa for a little bit, and we ended up linking back up here in Naples with a family friend that used to be our neighbor back in Peru like years ago.
Oh, wow.
So everything kind of connects back, and then from there it was like same thing. It was like we lived in the house for a little bit. My parents started working, and you don't think I don't even like realize like what my parents are going through or doing to like make sure me and my sister have stuff. And back then as a kid, I was looking at what other kids had, and I was like, why can't I have things the way other kids have things? Or why can't, you know, because the Game Boy was out, Game Boy games, like just and you know, everybody else around me was established family, and I, again, that never clicked to me, you know what I mean? Like I still wanted things like the other kids had things. I still wanted to get signed up for the soccer things. I still went, and so like growing up, it was always me realizing that like we don't have like a lot like you think we do, you know. And now more than ever, I'm mindful of what money is, because now I make my own money, so now I understand like just things. Just like sometimes like I can't even afford a Mickey D's, and like can you imagine having a kid asking you for Mickey D's and having like, nah bro, I got you got food at home, bro, because this is where we're at right now, you know. So that's pretty much what like it was before art, you know what I mean? Like that was my mentality. I've never had this like I can do things mentality ever, you know what I mean? To me, I always played a side character, because I wasn't special. There's nothing special about me. You know what I mean? Like that's like my biggest reality. Is like I don't have anything that's like, wow, like this dude has this gift, or his voice sounds like this, or the way he does this. It's like, no, like I'm just a regular dude doing the things that I've been doing, and like things have been happening. You know what I mean? Like just living life, and even like this year more than ever, I decided to like do things that I love doing, and like whatever idea that I think that I have and I think I can do, like I'm gonna do it. Like it's just because like I've like I said, my whole life I was told I couldn't, in a sense. Like I was told like you can go ahead and try, but like you're gonna have to work harder than most people around you. Like you're gonna have like, you know, I had no choice, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that, and then again, that's how it's been every job. You know, I've always been humble, like from cleaning bathrooms type shit. Like, and again, it wasn't like a solid job type thing, but if you could pick up a few hours doing things at certain places, it was like, it's a go. Let's get it. Like, so I don't know. So all that sort of like build me up to like be who I am in a sense. You know what I mean? Be wanting to do more for other people.
Do you ever look back on those times, like growing up like that, not having what some of the other kids had, not having some of like the opportunities other kids have? Do you ever look back on that and are thankful that that's how you were brought up, because of it makes you like more content with what you have now? Like if you have very little, you can be content because it's almost like it's what you were born in.
Of course, and all the time, because I even make this joke at work when people be like, oh, I wish I was rich. I wish I would just win the lotto and not have to work. I'm like, for what? You know how boring that is? Just having money and like not having some type of ambition in your life and not knowing what to do with it. Like, what do you want to be rich for? You know, at least you come here, you have fun, you like enjoy the people around you, like, you know what I mean? But like in a sense, to me it's like that. It's because like I realized that like I didn't grow up with a lot, and I like I said, I never realized I didn't have a lot. So I still grew up like every other kid, and I still like took the opportunities that I had. I still went out and tried to have as much fun as I could. I try to help out. Like I'm like, my parents would always get pissed, but like whenever we would hang out, my friends would always come over my house, because usually, you know, like my parents would feel more comfortable with people being around my house. But that means we all ate our food, you know what I mean? And so it was one of the things. To me, it's like if we had things in the house, like why can't they? You know what I mean? Like it's just there, you know. But again, it's that sense of like I think I have, you know what I mean? I think I can, like if I have this much, I can give this much more out. But again, I'm learning to understand that sometimes that's not always how the world works.
Yeah.
So you gotta make sure you really have like some for yourself to be able to feed other people or help other people.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Because like again, and that's just like not feed, like, you know, like physically, but like mentally or like metaphorically in a sense.
Sure, yeah. Because you sometimes when you do have like a very giving, like generous personality, you want to see other people like succeed and stuff. As you're giving and giving, like it's like you're giving bricks for them to build a house, and then whenever you turn around to build your house, you don't have any more bricks, and you're like, dang it, now what do I do? You know, like, and even like emotionally, you know, like particularly, like you can just give and give and give, and then sometimes you like don't. Your battery level is so short, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you get me, bro. Exactly, it's exactly like that. Or even like in the sense of, my dude Jose from Renstu was the one that told me this. It's like you try to do so much for the community sometimes. You know what I mean? Like you give. You try to put everybody on, but like you look back and you realize, and you like, yo, I ain't got shit for myself. You know what I mean? Because you try to give so much to like this big, huge platform that you think you're helping out with just like a little bit of sense, and it's like, nah, that's not how you help them out. You know what I mean? You help yourself out first, and then once you're good and you really are good, then you turn around and you figure out how to help them out. Not fully give them all, but like finding ways of them doing what you're doing type thing. So
and then you start to realize as you like are taking care of yourself and your battery level's up there like full again, you can give more than you could before because you're now like happier and healthier, you know?
It's a whole process. And again, it's not always like that either. Sometimes like you do all that and then you still end up like not feeling good, and it's like, bro, why not? Like I did all this, and sometimes again, and I like just like the human mind is one of those things that I fight with in a daily.
Oh yeah,
just
daily.
Because like I try, like, it's like you have to tell you, like, I don't know if it's just myself. I know, like, a lot of artists kind of suffer from it, and who knows where it comes from, you know what I mean? Where you always feel this type of judgment coming from people off the bat, just because like, and again, I think I do it because I used to like off the bat judge you. Like I would see, okay, I know who Brian is, and from the podcast, you know what I mean. I know who Danny is. That's his brother. Like I know what they're gonna talk about. I know who they are, and like I already have like this role and character for you. You know what I mean? Without even giving you a chance of like you just being you. You know what I'm saying? So like once I started realizing this, I was like, yo, maybe people do the same with me, where they're trying to figure me out and they give me a role, and now they think I'm somebody else. Mm-hmm. So like I said, even with like I said, even be doing things that I love, me sitting down with my emotions and like really figuring out why I feel like the certain types of ways that I do if I don't feel good about something. So like if I feel like I'm judging somebody for a reason, I like to just step back and be like, but why? Like why am I already telling them who they are? Like now I'm a step away. I'm a benefit of the doubt. Everybody's a good person. You know what I mean? Because you want to believe this, and even though not everybody else. You want to believe that everybody's a good person, and when you treat people good, then you start seeing the good parts of them. Yeah, you know what I mean. And then from there again, you hope that a trust is built, a friendship is built, and then again, I'm not out here wanting stuff from people. You know what I mean? Like you guys understand, like being like around so many people that are so talented, you just get so hyped up, and you're like, oh my god, how are you doing all that? And so you're just thankful sometimes. You know what I mean? Like with the art, like just having them come out here, it's like out of appreciation for who you are. It's like I don't want anything from you. I don't need a repost. I don't need you to be coming. Nah. It's just the genuine love that we have right here is like enough for what we should like receive and give as humans, you know what I mean? But then there's this other people that have like, oh no, if he's not liking my stuff, maybe he doesn't like me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or like they're not sharing my stuff, maybe they don't like who I am. Nah, like that has nothing to do with that. Like some days I go without even checking my IG because there's work. I gotta figure out some type of sketch work. I gotta figure out this, that. And it's like maybe I didn't have time to figure out what you were doing, or like maybe I needed a little bit of space away from it to like really see and check it out. But again, it's that like the mentality that like you have as a creative where you want to judge and be judged.
And just as humans, like daily you have to deal with it to where like our brains naturally want to put things into like categories and boxes and like this and that, and that's where like stereotypes come in, and you like snap judgments of people just because they dress some type of way or like said this one time, so maybe I should start, like you said, casting that role for them already. And you have to catch yourself, because we naturally want to do that, but that's not the healthiest thing to do, you know what I mean? When you're like meeting people and
seeing like that, even might come from like the way we were raised, like in high school, to where like it was very cliquey. Like I think like high school is just one of those things. I was thinking about like school, like because again, you think like I knew I was coming out here, so like you think of like 1,000 different things, and so like it's just high school is one of those things where like you go through, like nobody understands like the war that it is being like a kid in high school and like trying to fit in, and like
it's vicious, man.
And like some people just knew like where their roles were, and like some people were big, so they already knew how like to intimidate other kids. Or I was always quiet, so I always kind of used my uniqueness to like blend in and not stand out too much, so I wouldn't be I don't know, like caught doing something awkward, I guess, or some shit like that. Who knows, but again, I think that all comes from there, you know what I mean? Like now we're adults, and we're still kind of like realizing there's cliques, and we're still realizing that like there's certain people that do play characters, you know what I mean? And so you try to quickly like, oh, who are they? What are they trying to get? Who are they trying to do? But again, it's like you don't always know people. You can't judge a book by its cover. Yeah. That's like the biggest thing. It's like like people don't like, in a sense, like you said, like don't give other people like an opportunity to just be themselves, because like you like, and I don't know, like I don't know if it's because some people have that open mentality where you're being yourself, so you let people be yourself, but when you're not sure who you are, you kind of like aren't sure of the people around you, and like it's just vibrations, like you know what I mean, like the way you communicate with people, like the way you treat people, like I'm so mindful, like at least I try to be mindful of like everything that's around me when I can use it to what my emotions do for me, you know what I mean? I'm a very visual person. I like to like really like, why, like I wonder like this, and this is why I like doing the little interviews that I used to do too. It's like I'm really like wondering why, like what makes you guys like different? What makes
Yeah, exactly. That's one of the coolest things about doing a podcast too. Is like, you know, whether you form a judgment or not, when you see somebody on like social media, like oftentimes that's how we get a guest. You know, like and like even with you, I've met you at shows and stuff, seen you out in public, but never really had this one-on-one conversation. So like, we get, you know, to sit down with people uninterrupted, talking for hours and getting to know them. And oftentimes when like a guest leave, we're like, what a dope person. I mean, every time really, every time we're like, Brian's like, that was the best episode we ever done. Like every episode, but it's so cool getting to like sit down with people and see who they are.
who they really are.
Yeah, who they really are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's cool. To jump back on something, we talked about high school. Were you doing art in high school?
No.
Really?
No.
Not even just on the fun?
No. Well, see, high school, I didn't pay a lot of attention in high school because, like, I knew what my legal situation was at the moment, and I didn't think I was going to college. So to me, it was just like, you just get through it. You know what I mean? But every single, like, notebook that I had sketches all the way down. Like, I would still take my notes, but on the little, like, corner or the side of the notebook, some type of sketch, some type of something. So, like, artistically speaking, like, I was always open to artistic matters and trying to do things artistically, but it was never like I was gonna be an artist when I grew up. So during high school, especially my last 3 years, it was mostly soccer. You know, and even after high school, I think I did soccer for 2, 3, 4 more years. You know what I mean? I did a little, like, we played maybe a couple of state championships, like with the like open leagues and things like that around town. But after that is when I kind of started getting involved with the whole art scene, and it was like I couldn't make the shows and still go out and play the games because I was playing like 4 games like a week. And then every other day was just pick up soccer or like going out and running because I had to stay in shape.
Yeah.
And then like I would get caught up trying to do that, trying to get paintings done for the shows, trying to get like, you know, because like back then it was like I had to be like at the shows like the whole time at the show. Like I didn't know. It wasn't like now where I go and I can hang out, chill out for a little bit, and then, you know what I mean? Like now it's like I had to be there and get to know people and network and do this and do that. Mm-hmm. So it got to a point where it was like pick and choose. You know what I mean? You playing soccer or you're an artist. Like,
wow, really?
Yeah. It's and again it was one of those things where I think that's what pushed me. I think to be an artist in a sense was that right when I started showing up to the shows and I was doing things with like Frankie Cold, and again I was posting the art stuff and still playing the soccer and stuff. One of my cousins had like a seizure like in the middle of the game, and then they were like passing away, and I was there, you know what I mean? And it was one of those things where like I had literally like just talked to him like a couple of minutes like right before the game started, because like it was like we had just played in that field, we were moving out, they were moving in to start playing the game. We had just talked to him and his dad, and you know, like I had moved, like I would work out after the games if I had like an early game, and I was just running around in the other field, and then I saw a commotion in the field, and I come running, and you know, like I'm looking around trying to figure out what's going on. I'm looking at every player on the like standing up, and I was like, where is he? And so I see him in the floor, like not fully, like, you know what I mean, like breathing, and the ambulance shows up, and like even with that, it was one of those things where I didn't know what to do. Like what do you like, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't, like I couldn't do anything. Like I couldn't like there was nothing that I could have done at the moment to help. You know what I mean? There was nothing that like, it's just one of those things where, and it was happening, and you know they took him in the ambulance, and the ambulance left, and I remember just like running to my car. I was like I don't know what to do. Like it's like what do you do? Like you want to help, you just don't know who to tell, what to tell. Like, so I rushed home and I told my mom, and I was like, yo, like it just happened. They just took him to the hospital. So we ended up going to the hospital. Luckily we went because his mom, of course, was going through the emotions. So my mom was able to contact her friends, and we were able to be all like at like the hospital, and like all the families and all their friends and the praying like groups and stuff. We were able to be at like the hospital that night, and then and, you know, I remember that night it was bro, it's crazy because like, you know, like it's one of those things where like I was, cause like I had like a little church like in the hospital, and like I would try to figure out, I was like what is it? Like, why? Like you know what I mean? Like, what caused it? Like, you know what I mean? Because at that point, you want to blame drugs, you want to blame like alcohol, like you want maybe he was like doing like caused something else. He wasn't even 21. He was like 19, maybe 20. You know what I mean? Like, and like you know, like I'm there like yo, like I'll be different. Like I'll do some different shit. Like you know, just like let him come out of this one. You know what I mean? Like let him really and you know, even thinking of like the fact of like I knew at that point like they had even said like he wouldn't be the same even if he would come out of it, because there was like a lot of blood and stuff like in his like brain, and so like it was like yo like you know like I would try to like just try to figure out what was the best thing like I could ask for or say or do, and like there was nothing, you know what I mean? And, like the next day I had to go to work, and that afternoon my dad had called me saying like I think I got out of work at like 7, and my dad called me up. Hey, we're all at the hospital. Like, you know, they're just gonna unplug him, cause like it just you know it is what it is at this point. And I wasn't gonna go because it was just one of those things where like I didn't want to see it. Like I don't hide hospitals. I didn't want to see him in the bed. I didn't want to. You just I don't know. Like to me like at that moment it was like I'd rather not go through it and not experience it instead of having to go through it. But I ended up like showing up probably like 2-3 minutes before they unplugged him. So like I was able to still say bye and you know like still get that moment to still be able to be around the family, and then it's like after that it's like I think I might have played a game or two after that, and I couldn't play no more, you know what I mean? Because like even like that like like where it's like and things happen, you know what I mean? Like I like life, like it was like I was okay with life happening, like you know like it came out of nowhere. They couldn't explain it, like nobody knew why he had like the stroke or the seizure. Like it's just unexplainable. You can't blame like nothing and anybody, you know what I mean? It's not one of those things where I was like yo he was smoking something, so like I'm gonna be done smoking. He was drinking something, I'm gonna be like no, it's nothing like that, you know what I mean? And like I was okay with most of that, but like it was like the moments before like all this happening, it was like I was going through some egotistic like mental stuff where my team was okay, you know, we were the best in the league, but then I had friends on the team that were like first place, and they're like, bro, come play with us, you know, champions just coming, come play with us. I was like, I don't know, bro, like I don't want to leave my team, but at the same time, my cousin's team was last. And they were like, yo, we need players. Like, if you're not really playing much of your team, you should come play with us. And, like, I was never able to, like, really be like, yo, I'll go play down or I'll go play up type thing. And it's just, like, I just stayed where I was at. And then again, even thinking of that, I was like, yeah, I could have just gone out and just play with them. And, like, you know, it would have been, like, a thing. And, like, because, like, they were, like, not, like, my cousin, but they were just close families, friends. And so like and then again, one of the last conversations we had, he had seen all the art things that I was doing. He's like, bro, I seen you out there, like keep doing your thing, like that's super dope. I gotta come out sometime type thing. And it was like knowing that he was watching the things that I was doing then, it was what I was like, nah, like I know what I want to do. Like I want to like keep doing the art thing, you know, like to a sense like I think all that like just scared me from wanting to play soccer or just being in that field and like. Just again, like you push away the things that make you think about that type of stuff, and so like art became like the new thing. You know what I mean? Art became like my new passion, my new family, what I was gonna put my everything into just because of this comment that was like, it's still in my head. Like I still think, like I still like know the way he told me and the way he was like expressing about it and like how hype and like excited he was about it, and that's like so sense like that's drive right now. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
That's like one of those things that just plays, and I'm a visual person, so like I can close my eyes and see them there, like saying those things to me. It's crazy, bro.
Wow, thanks for sharing that, dude.
No,
That's
yeah. No, that's and again, like I said, it's just one of those things. I haven't even thought about that in like a hot minute, just because like you don't really get to talk about that a lot, and it's just one of those stories where, I don't know, like to a sense, it's like this is why I do the art the way I do. It's just like. To me, it's just an opportunity, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where life gave me choices, and obviously, like, the choice that I was taking wasn't going, you know what I mean? And, like, if that was the message that he left me, that's something that, like, it just kind of, like, I carried with that, and then look what I ended up doing and where I ended up at, and I think I saw his mom just a couple months ago, and she was at my house, and she was just one of the things, she's like, yo, I've seen all the things you're doing with the clothes, that's so cool, and, like, you know what I mean? It's just knowing that I still am able to bring some type of like not pride, but like energy to what the things that he wanted to do, or the person that he was, and just light up for that little bit of like of an emotion. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I think life is crazy, especially once you start understanding like how you make people feel. You know what I mean? Like that's like, to me, once I realized, like I started like doing the art and giving people art, and like seeing how people like reacted to the art. It's like that light up. It's that's such a weird drug, but like it's good.
I bet. Yeah, because also to jump back on something you had said at the beginning of the podcast that, and I don't know if you still feel this way about yourself, but you had said like, I'm nothing special. I'm nobody special. But seeing you from an outsider's perspective, I saw the art. You know, I saw the art first, and I was always like, both of us were like a diehard Dragon Ball Z fan. And I saw your like Dragon Ball Z art first, and then I saw to see like more anime stuff. But as we started getting more and more connected, I would see art like when we met Favi. We went to Favi's like studio and saw like an art piece that you had gifted her, and you can tell your art without even like knowing what it is. You know what I mean? Like you're, no matter what it is, you can look at the piece. Ace of Fades, when we went there, all your art's hanging on the wall. We're like, so like, bro, you are special. You have like something about you, and it's your art. And that's super cool. I bet that like when you gift somebody, I bet that's a super dope feeling.
Yeah,
like,
no, and again, and when I say like that, I'm nobody special, is we grew up in anime and comic books, and the way I look at it is, it's like I don't know, when I, like even with like coming up with Saiyajinka, you know what I mean? Like as an artist, it was always the idea of creating that alter ego, you know what I mean? And so like when I like to me, it's like I'm no one special in the sense of like I'm grounded as a human to know that like everything that I'm gonna get is everything that I'm gonna work hard for. You know what I mean? Like there's not gonna be any like type of luck or any type of like, wow, like I said, like it's like some type of magical thing that sometimes people have, like that make them spine, like shiny.
Yeah, I get that.
You know what I mean? So like, but at the same time, I do respect what the gift is. You know what I mean? And like, and I do understand like it's like the reason why like you see stuff and like it has like that feeling that it's mine. It's like I believe in energy. You know what I mean? So like to me, it's like I had to get out of that mentality of like I have to do the best work, and get into the mentality of like if I do it, like that's gonna be my best work. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like that because like at the end of the day, like people could do things like this, and like, you know what I'm saying, you see the different artists when Dragon Ball is doing like different cartoonists. You know what I mean? You see the style difference. So like in a sense, I started by doing people's styles, but then like I like now it's a lot of like rewiring myself to find my style. You know what I mean? And find something that's gonna be different. So, but like a lot of people tell me that it's like, yo, but like when I see this, I know it's yours. It's like, yes, like that emotion and feeling is like that's what I'm trying to carry through. But I know I got a little bit more inside of me that's like that I haven't fully like tapped into yet, because I'm still getting used to what like my frequency is, and like what I'm really like thinking of, what I'm really like trying to create. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So again, when I say I'm no one special, it's in a sense because like I do find the value in the things that I'm doing. I never want to get a big head about it. Yeah. Because even recently I did a piece. Because again, when I'm painting, it's more of like, why am I painting? You know what I'm saying? Whether I saw you as somebody that inspired me or motivated me to feel some type of way, and I'm putting that energy into the painting. So when you see it, you feel inspired, motivated. To where recently I had this commission of a friend's her it's like her little brother, because he was like close family friend. He had just like I guess passed away Sunday, and she sent me a picture of him, and she's like, yo, can you make me a cartoon of it? And I was like, yeah, I got you, you know. But again, even that is like sitting down and painting with a image of somebody who's just passed away. It's a little touchy because it's emotions, it's energy, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So like I had to like sit with that for like a couple, like 3-4 days, you know, and I knew she kind of wanted it. And so like I was like, yo, you know what, I'm gonna get it done for you. Don't worry, like I got you, you know, just give me my time. It's just been one of those weeks. I finally got it done, and And then when I dropped it off, I was waiting for her. And sometimes, like I said, I take opportunities the way they come sometimes. And I was waiting for her. I had like a couple of other things to get done. I was running a little late. She wasn't coming out of like the Best Buy that she was at. And so like I kind of just left the painting because in a sense I felt like I'm like, if she likes this, like it's not gonna be a good like it's gonna be a good like, but like it's gonna hit. You know what I mean? It's a lot of emotions. So just left her windshield. I was like, hey, I'm so sorry. I got to go. Like, I got other things to do. And, like, again, like I said, sometimes, like, I know when timing is right when I got to do things. So I just left. And, like, she texted me, like, probably 5-6 minutes after. And she's like, oh, my God, I'm in love with this. I'm crying right now. And it's like, that's a lot of emotion. I did not want to pull with me right now because, like, I understand what she's grieving and she's going through her own stuff. But, like, I pick up on that. Like, I really do feel for people, and like I feel horrible, and like those emotions do like tumble within. Like even when I watch TV, I get very emotionally connected to whatever show I'm watching. It's like so it's kind of like that too. So when it comes to the art, it's like I like I said, I'm extremely blessed to be able to like say, hey, I'm making this out of love, and the piece make you feel like there's love. You know what I mean? Like that's just I don't know. I don't know how like that's the man of there. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the gift right there. Like that's not me. What I did, like I said, my me is just being able to really get to know people enough to create those pieces. You know what I mean? To be able to like find the right way to pick your brain and make you like when you see something, I know what you're looking at. In a sense, energetically, you know what I mean? Because everybody has their own interpretation of the things that I do.
Man, I love that, bro. I love that.
And it's awesome because sometimes, like, being in this community and stuff, you see people that you're just so hyped on, like, they make you feel some type of way because of, like, their music or their art or whatever it is they are. It makes you hyped, and you want to do anything you can to, like, support them. And I remember, like, before I'd always, just think to myself, I'm like, man, I wish... Like, what could I do to, like, I can buy the album, I can, like, get a merch if they have merch, like, I can do all these things.
How much more can I help you?
Yeah, and it's like, I can do or I can show up to the shows, I sing the lyrics, because I actually love listening to your music, but it's like, I would always feel like, what more could I do? And it's almost like what you do with the paintings and how you gift it to people. I like how you said that it's like that love motivates them to keep doing what they're doing, So it's almost like, better than any sort of monetary purchase you could like do to support them. If you can give them that and make them feel like gratified in what they do and realize like what I did affected him to the point where he did this for me, and it's like this awesome relationship between artists.
And not even if you've noticed, and it's with some studios, you know what I mean? Like, a couple of studios where you see like the background of or like mixing your favorite rappers or Eddie Rock, like. When they got like art on the back, it's like one of my pieces, like from way back in the day. Kev Speaks Truth, Ivan the Hippie, like any little like studio sesh, like bangs. I'll see my pieces like in the back, and I'm like, yes, like they're using it because it was like they'd be like, yo, I be seeing that shit and like inspires me, makes me feel this way or that way, and it's like, and again, even back then, that was like I feel like it was more of a wave of like. The emotions of everything that was going on within, again, the Saiyan season, the whole Saiyan name, everything with the Dragon Ball that I was dropping. It just all kind of like made its own little moment, you know what I mean? So like again, all that is just like little things that it's like, damn, bro, like I did that, and it's still hung up there, and they still appreciate it. Like that's crazy.
Yeah, and it's priceless. It's priceless. You know what I mean?
At the end of the day, you know what I mean? Like then that's the thing about art. Like art is just one of those things where you give it price. You know what I mean? Like it's very subjective to how you want to price things, and I think even like probably 2-3 years ago, like people were still having issues on how to price their pieces. I mean, what's a good price for this? What's a good price for that? And to me, it was always like, yo, like just gotta price them how much you think you're worth. You know what I mean? Like, like I couldn't compare myself to other people because I've always been about affordable art, affordable whatever it is that I'm bringing, because I know who I'm selling to. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna like hit you with like $200-$300 purchase on the weekend at an open mic. so like that again, it's just like little things that kind of put me in a good situation to be able to do what I do in a sense. Mm-hmm. Like it just kind of it just happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A question I did have, like regarding prices, is with everything that's gone on within the past like couple of years, where prices on everything are going up and like labor is going up, where people are getting paid more, has that like made you think about or maybe had to do anything to your prices? Because like if people are making more and things are costing more, as an artist who's like out here trying to survive and get it done, it may be like, well, you know, say that I make X amount of dollars on art. If now people are getting paid more than that to do a baseline job, it's almost like an up and coming, because obviously you're established and like you found your love for it, but an up and coming guy may just be like, may just almost quit the love of it, may quit his passion to pursue that.
Well, see, the issue with that is just the simple fact that, like, I've evolved as an artist. So, like, even now I'm looking to see how I'm going to make my clothes a little more affordable from the art. So, like, now, like, even, like, this year, the art is being more focused on how to make simpler art to put on shirts than art to sell. So, even those pieces that go on shirts are not going to get sold, because those are going to be the pieces that, if God has it all planned, that are gonna like all be put together into like a gallery. You know what I mean? And now those pieces are gonna have a certain value price, because now it's like you can buy the art piece, or you can buy the art piece with the rights to make merch. And so I don't make merch anymore. Or if you just buy the piece, then you can't make merch out of it. You know what I mean? Like, your purchase is just like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, like, again, it's the evolution of, like, now I'm, like, really thinking about what I'm doing, and I can still do a Dragon Ball piece. I'm still going to have a lot of fun with it. I can, like, if it's somebody that I know, it's like, I can charge $40-$50. I still go home happy. It's still worth my time. And somebody goes home with a very affordable piece, to where, I don't know if you saw that recent painting I did of the Kanye bear with Thug Life. Mm-hmm. So like that piece right there, I'm looking at it and I'm like, yo, like, if the right people see that piece, it's like it's like a piece, you know. So like something like that would be a lot more affordable, just because of the originality that it has. You know what I mean? So yeah, but it's again because of the fact that I've established myself as an artist, I'm able to do pieces like this and sell them at a certain price, or hold my foot down at a certain price. You know what I mean? Because there's still a lot of people like, yo, you charging that much for art? Bro, it's an investment. You're investing here.
Yeah.
You know
Do people
I mean?
really try to haggle with you?
Of course.
Oh
all the time. And again, there's certain people that, like, they wouldn't even ask me prices, and they'll pay me more than what I would ever ask for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I have people, like, that value me like that, because I recently just dropped a rig that I did. And again, it's one of those things where I still don't know the prices sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just hoping that people don't think I'm crazy when I'm asking for certain things. And I went to drop it off at this dude's job, and his bosses were, have you guys watched George Lopez? Mm-hmm. Okay, so like his bosses were like those bosses, like the two like older men that like ran the factory, right? So they were like, oh, you're over here buying art when you know you need new tires, bro. Like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, you decided to buy art over buying like a chicken sandwich at Chick-fil-A. Like, trying to say, like, you know, like, why are you like even wasting your money here? And dude came out and like paid me probably 3-4 times more than what I was gonna ask for. And it was like one of those things where like, he did it because he knows what piece he got and like what he's getting. You know what I mean? He knows that he's just not getting some cheap art off of anybody else. Like, now he's getting an original piece that I made that now is part of like a bigger collection that he has. You know what I mean? So like, I still get that though, because like, again, in a sense, I'm just like a little street artist still trying to do my thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's not that established, oh, he's a big business and like he's professional with everything he does. And like, but again, even like this year, like with the new shirts that I'm dropping, I'm trying to find affordable ways to make different clothes and like be able to charge a little more but give you more. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, like not try, because like again, you see it everywhere. Like, people just try to like do the simpler thing and charge the most, because you gotta get paid. Out of this shit. But again, I as a creative, it's like I try to get creative too with the way I do things. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna have you come and like waste your money. Nah, like at this point, like you're investing your money in anything you do, like on this side.
Heck yeah.
It's very strange pricing art, you know, because it isn't like a t-shirt where it's like it costs this much to get the shirt, it costs this much to do this, because it's like other than the time you put into a piece, it's like what is it worth? You know what I mean?
And the issue is like it's not even sometimes what's worth to you, because it's what's worth to like who's looking at it. You know, if you get like a big Dragon Ball fanatic and like it's a dope Piccolo piece, and look at, oh my god, bro, like he's gonna know exactly what it is. He's like geek on it. You're gonna be like $300, and he's gonna be like, that's it. Pull out the money and give it to you. But then if you meet like some older man that looks at him and is like, that's a cool alien, you know, and don't really get it, and
I'll
you're
give
like
you 20.
yeah, you know what I'm saying, like like. So like again, that's the issue with art. It's like if it's not in front of the right eyes, it might not be worth shit. But that's up to the artist to really like put their value on what their art is. And again, I've gotten hit very disrespectfully a couple of times on what my art is because of the type of art that it is. You know what I mean? And people not looking deeper into how I'm going about it, but. You get through it. It's okay.
I love that you said too. I just love because I like a lot of people ask me about art prices and stuff, and I love that you said you keep in mind who it is you're selling art to, like who it is your market is realistically, you know. And it's like with grip tape that I do, that's something that I've kept the price it is, and people. I mean, I love the like compliments, but like people have told me like, no, this needs to be 50. You need to do 50 a pop for these grip tapes. Like it's worth every penny because of like it's an original like piece of art. But I also consider I'm selling a piece of grip tape that goes on a skateboard that's going to be skated and destroyed. And like the way I do those art pieces are with the stencils and stuff. So it's like not only am I doing like a little commission piece of a character someone loves for their skateboard, but it's also a very fast process because I've made the stencils to just knock it out. And it's a piece of grip tape. So it's like if a skateboard deck costs $60, why would I charge $50 for the piece of grip tape that goes on it? No one's going to buy it. You know what I mean? It's like, and I want it to be used in that way. I want my art to be put on a skateboard to then be skated at a skate park and someone look down at their favorite character like every time they, you know, I want to give that to them. And even though I could be like $75, you know how much went into that? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that because it's like, I want them to do it. I want them to have it at the lowest price I can feasibly do. You know what I mean? So I'm not going to like, give it to him for $5, but I've had to find that balance.
Middle part,
you know?
yeah. No, for sure. Because again, there are people that might not even use it to skate. You know, they look at it and they just hang it up because it's art. You know what I mean? So again, that's why like art is like the hardest thing. That's why I think that's why they don't put prices on like art galleries. They're like, nah, let's see who's asking first, and then like
hit us up about it and we'll talk.
That must be it, bro.
And then it's cool as an artist too, how like it sometimes just naturally develops. Like a lot of times you don't even have to make decisions like you would if you're running a business, to where it's like, what do we put the numbers at to make the highest profit margin, and what are the ratios going to be, and whatever. It's more so like it's just step by step, to where it's like you will reach a point where all your art's in a gallery and it'll probably have a price tag with several zeros on it, you know what I mean, for a piece, because it's now a Saiyajinka piece, you know. And like anyone who has followed your journey as an artist up to that point knows that like they're gonna be hyped on that, you know, because you've built that.
And yeah, exactly. And even that, it's like no matter how many zeros it has, that's how many much more of a benefit that I'm gonna try to find for you to like for that art to be like affordable to you or beneficial to you in some sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
No, I love that. Like again, and it's just, I think it's just part of the process. I've seen people that like, not to talk bad about anybody, because art's not bad or good, ever. But I've seen people that put less effort into what they do and comfortably and confidently charge 3 or 4 times the money that I do, and it's like, oh, okay, well, you know what I mean. So that's what like again, it's sometimes it's the way you sell, who you selling it to, like what exactly it is that you're selling, like all that. But again, as long as people like something, people are willing to pay for it.
Yeah,
you just gotta believe in it. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that bullshit you all the time, and they believe in what they do. You know what I mean? So, like, if they can believe in them, like, I can believe in me.
Yeah. So there's a story I love there's a skater, like someone in the skate industry named Neckface. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but he's a pretty significant artist, and he like going to. I listened to an interview with him where he talked about art prices and stuff, and he went to school. He went to some big art school in New York, and he wasn't about the like formal art learning and stuff. He just thought like an artist is an artist. He grew up as a graffiti artist, so like, and so he just used the opportunity in college to go around New York tagging neck phase, like just drawing all these little things. And it got to the point where a lot of people at the school and just around the place he lived knew of him and like knew of his name, and like, and he became like one of the New York artists. And so then whenever he started, while in school, starting like making art pieces, and he got into a gallery, the gallery manager recommended he raise his prices by like 75% or something, and he was thinking like, $700 for like this piece that I made, like I'm not gonna do that, like because he added it like 100 or something. And then she said, like, someone gave him a piece of advice. She's like, she's gonna be crazy, but just trust her. And then he listened to that, and he's like, okay, and he bumped all his prices. He sold out of every piece in the gallery.
I've definitely heard about this. Yeah,
and it's like that, where like sometimes like he established himself and he grew that name of like Neckface to where like it was worth that dollar amount. You know what I mean? And it just depends what the goal is too. You know, like as an artist, your goal isn't to like, obviously we need to pay bills, but like you don't do art so that you can pay bills. You know what I mean? You do art, and that's just period. You do art, and then like whatever money comes out of it. It comes out of it.
It goes back to the art.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes that means like, I guess I have a different perspective, because when I was doing art full time, I didn't want to do it anymore, because it was like you just notice as an artist how your soul feels. You know what I mean? And whenever I like went part time at my day job and tried to make more significant money with the art to support myself, I was just noticing that it was more of like a churning it out type thing, you know, where it's like taking a commission just because I have a $700 like rent payment due or something. So it's like, okay, I need to do 4 paintings that are at least that much, and it just got to the point where it wasn't for the love anymore. It was for my bills. You know?
The bills, yeah. Now it's being forced.
Yeah, yep. And now that I have like totally changed up my job situation, I now work more than I did before I went to part-time. I like work hella hours, but my inspiration is like tenfold what it was whenever I was doing art full-time, you know, because it's not forced anymore. It's just like when my soul feels like creating, it creates. And then like usually it's a better creation at that point, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. And even like recently I've had this conversation because you know, like I'm hitting 1 year since I dropped Injoy, so there's a lot of questions on like the business side behind everything that Injoy is. And again, it's been a question for the past like 6 months, and to me, I had to be honest with myself and just be like, honestly, like I'm more about being the creator of Injoy than being the business or the CEO or the owner of Injoy. So like I'm more worried about like the creative process that I have towards coming into this year, then I am worried about how much money I'm gonna make or how much money I'm gonna spend or getting the LLC, getting the website, because I was like, I don't need that right now. You know what I mean? Like not that I'm saying that I'm selling a bunch and the business is doing great and we're booming, but like because of what's in front of me and in a sense the amount of impact that I can make right now, I don't need it. You know what I mean? And I've said it. I feel like I sound ignorant sometimes. You know what I mean? But like as a street artist, it's not something that's like an essential. You know what I mean? As a street artist, again, like, and that's like taking it back to the root. You know what I mean? Like really trying to like, again, it's like trying to like be an artist without a label and like really trying to like juice everything you can out of yourself as a creative and get the best out of things. You know what I mean? And like, and again, just going back into like I was like, yo, it might be childish, it might not be the most professional thing, like, but like the business side of my business, there's no business because all that sounds boring to me. And like Enjoy has been something about like for me, it's been about having fun with it. So like just even thinking about filing taxes with all the LLC shit and like getting all your paperwork in row and like that it just sounds boring. And so like it's like I try to avoid it, but at the same time I know that I'm gonna have to like, and then like, even at this point, like I'm very situated with like the things that creatively I wanted to achieve, just to have ready to be put out. To where now it's like, all right, now that that's there and I can make money off, like now Enjoy can make money off of the things that are there already. I can like step away and like sit down and like talk. Okay, why do I need the LLC for? How I'm gonna use it? How is it gonna make me better? Like website, like by the name, not by the name, like the actual like, you know what I mean, like the what like Enjoy, like copyrights and shit like that, like all that. Like I know it's important, but right now it's like
Not the focus.
Not the main focus right now, and not I'm not where I think I want to be able to do that. Not that I want to wait till I'm there to start doing it, but even when I do get there, it's like we have enough creatives that have done this to be able to do it like this. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We can do a website overnight. You know what I mean? We can drop. We have the pictures and everything for a website. We have, you know what I mean? Again, and then it comes on my end too. You know what I mean? Like, cause it's money that I have to put in the front to be able to pay for the LLC, to be able to pay for the website stuff. So, me not being fully responsible for the things that I need to pay for and get taken care of is like on me. You know what I mean? But regardless of, it's like, all right, now that I have a better head of where I'm heading, now I can start saving money. Now I can start putting things to the side. Now I can like really plan out like how we're taking it to the next level. When it's ready to take it to the next level.
Heck yeah, man. What is your day-to-day like? Like with your, you know, just your weekly process with creatively and just with everything you have going on. What is like the general day in the life?
So I try to like do not do it a lot. Well, see, this week was like a little weird just because there was like a full moon, and I'm very affected by moons. Either if it's like one of them like I don't know how to even describe them, but there's some moons that like just keep me up, and I'm like all day going, just like creating, doing shit, and like this past one I just slept all week pretty much because my job my 9 to 5 is from 5 a.m. to 3:30, 4 days a week. So like that's like priority, you know what I mean? Like that's I gotta show up to that every day. But again, it's like even right now it's changing because they opening up weekends for us. So now I'm leaving everything for the weekend to get things done. But usually like a day to day is literally just whatever it is that like it's happening at the moment in a sense. Like I don't have like. There's some days like I'll be like I'm gonna get all this shit done. I'll get home from work, pass out, wake up at 1 a.m. It's like all right, well like let's get as much as we can till 3 a.m. before we gotta head back out. You know what I mean? Sometimes I try to sneak in a workout if I can, at least 2-3 times a week if possible. Like I used to be more constant with it, but again, I need to sleep too at some point.
Yeah, the rest is crucial.
So and then I don't usually take money before commissions, so I'm not rushed to finish anything. You know what I mean? Like that's like up in the air. Unless it's something that somebody paid me for, I don't have any time to get it done. You know, I don't stress myself with that. But again, people are like, "Yo, like, you should take money before you do anything." It's like, yeah, but then you're forced to get things done at a certain time. So don't rush me. Like I'll get done when I'll get done. Sometimes I'll be, you know, like depending, like if Ivan or Kevin or whoever it is are working on something like weird, different. Like yesterday, pretty much spent all day working on Ivan the Hippie music video. So it was one of those things where he's, yo, come on, help me out for a little bit. And it's like I was out there at like 10 a.m. and didn't get home till like 10 p.m.
Wow.
So, but again, it's just it's all part of the process, you know what I mean? And so like at that, like even that I had planned to get a couple of things done, but by the time we're heading back and I'm seeing the time, and I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not getting shit done today. Like I'm not gonna force it. Like he's already like we're like shooting the very last like little segment. So like let's just finish it up. I'm gonna stick around and see if he needs anything. And when it's time to go, like again, it's one of those things where like, it's time. If I would have known that there was anything else going on or time would have rushed me out of there, I would have left. But there was nothing going on for whatever reason. It just felt right. Just stay. Just take your time. Don't rush anything. Like I'm where I'm supposed to be at always.
I love that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you get so caught up in like the schedule and this and that. It's like you give yourself this much time to do that, this much time to do that. That it's like you just feel so like a machine, you know. And sometimes you do just need to just go with it. And when it's time to leave, it'll be time to leave. You know?
All the time. Because I do that. Like, I don't know. I think it was like I had like this whole like experience where we were at a family thing. Where people go and pray like once a year. I think they do this. Everybody goes and prays, and so you know my mom likes for the whole family to be there. So she's always like, you know, you gotta come for a little bit, do this, there. And there was a show going on that night. That's the same night, and it was a show that I wanted to be at. But like, I went out there, set up my stuff, and then left back to Naples to do the thing with my family. And the whole time I'm so anxious there. Like I'm like, yo, I gotta go. I got things to do. I got, you know, and so like. It's until it hit a point where I was like, why? Why am I so anxious right now? Like, why can't I just sit here? Like, I'm here. Like I'm right here. Why can't I just be here? And so I like sat back and I was like, no, relax, just like pray, think about the things that you want to do. And again, sometimes, like I said, things happen in my life in a way where it's weird, where the priest that they have brought from like Bolivia that was doing the whole praying stuff, and at the time I was like waiting to hear back from my job, to see if I had gotten the job, because I wasn't like really doing much that I wanted to do. And so this priest goes like, like after they do the praying and everything, they go like, yo, I feel an energy. Somebody here is waiting to hear back from their job. Just, we're praying for you, hopefully you get it. And I ended up getting the job, but
Nice.
that night it was one of those things where like I could have missed that. I could have honestly missed that whole like
Yeah.
moment. It's
Yeah.
like after I came down, we did our thing, everything was done and finished. I rushed to the show. By the time that I got to the show, it's like whatever artist I was looking to, I wanted to see perform. I got to see perform. It almost felt like there was nothing going on in the show till I got there.
Yeah.
Because like in
Wow.
a sense, like there wasn't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
even if there was, it wasn't anything with me. So then ever since then, I was like, if I'm ever late, like nothing's starting yet. Like take your time, dude. Like I don't need to be there I don't need to rush to be anywhere. Even if I'm running late, there's a reason why I must be running late at this point. You know what I mean? I can't force it. Like at this, it is what it is. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
dude.
So
Yeah,
that
bro.
and again, it's little things. You start living life and you start realizing patterns, and so that's been my pattern. I'm like, if I'm here, for whatever reason, life hasn't taken me anywhere else. Like here we are. You know what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah, I love that, man. Yeah. That's awesome.
I feel like my life is my biggest experiment. I be trying shit like lying. I can't lie. If I ever lie, it's one of those things where like it'll come true. Somehow I'd be like, yo, I'm like, cause my tire just popped, and like 2 minutes later my tire's gonna pop because
Yeah.
again, it's believing in the energy so much that like if it happens and you're listening, like just step away from it, like. You know what I mean? Like, there's the universe sometimes sends you like little messages for you to like do
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, and there's
Yeah.
even sometimes where I'll like start to get upset because I'm like running 10 minutes behind or something like that, and I'm just thinking like, dang it, I should have like done that, I should have left, I should have done this better, I should have woke up earlier. And then it's one way I like can calm myself down is I just think, well, what if like 10 minutes, if I would have left 10 minutes ago, I would have got in a grisly car accident because of like just right place, wrong time, and I would have died. So it's like, oh, I would have died 10 minutes ago, so I'm gonna be late. That's fine. It's like crazy to think like that, but sometimes it just like helps comfort me, just thinking like I am in the right place at the right time always,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
One thing we do like to ask is this week, just looking back on like the past week and stuff, what's one thing that comes to your mind when we say winning streak? Like, what's one thing that happened to you this week that makes you feel like you're on a winning streak?
This week's been horrible. Honestly, this week. It's been just a good week to just be grateful in the sense, you know what I mean? Like I spend a lot of again, I do a lot of different things. You know what I mean? I'm always very caught up with like a bunch of different projects, trying to get caught up with figuring out if I want to do this or want to do that, and even like the whole I've been watching. I don't know if you guys watched that whole Kanye documentary.
No,
Not
I've been
yet.
wanting to. I've been wanting to.
Okay, so like, and I know it's like you guys like, and it's been part of like the whole like rollout to what it is, but like there's this quote that his mom tells him that was like, it's kind of like when the giant like looks in the mirror, he doesn't see anything, but like everybody else sees the giant. You know what I mean? And like and yesterday when I was with Ivan, I was talking to him to like, I was like, bro, like I don't like, I know like we're gonna sit down and talk about certain things, but like I don't know if I have a lot going on like on my own to be able to like, you know, share like, I don't know, like just, like again, like you share, like build or share that experience in a sense, you know what I mean? But then the more I thought about it, it was like, yo, like I might not have a lot going on with myself, just because like a lot of things that are in process are just like in process. I just kind of have to wait to see what happens with everything. But at the same time, there's so many different things that I'm doing around everything else that like it made me like, because I didn't understand the quote when I first heard it, but it made me feel in the way of like, you know, like the giant has this perspective of like trying to see himself as like in the mirror like everybody else does, but he can't. You know what I mean? Because like if you look at a mirror from a certain angle, like you can't really see yourself. You know what I mean? So like he's looking down at the mirror trying to see who he is, and he can, but like everybody else that's around obviously knows the giant is there. Like obviously like there's so many little things that I'm like placing down where like I'm in a sense staying relevant to everything that's going on without having to always be me in the front line, without always having to be creating. You know what I mean? Yeah. So like that I feel like that's like a winning streak in a sense, because like just being able to be involved in different projects and still be able to be myself and feel like I'm doing something good. It's like, all right, this is the right place to be. You know what I mean? This is a comfortable place where I can create, I can be vulnerable, I can help other people do different things, I can give my input, we can play around, and like it's good. You know what I mean? It's a balance. It's like it's a good experience. It's a good day. It's a good moment.
100%.
Yeah, dude. For real.
And it's so hard. Like we live in a world where, like, with social media and like building a brand and all this stuff, it's like sometimes you feel guilty not like posting a lot or not like being front and center, and like you feel like people aren't gonna. You're gonna like disappear or something if like you're not like there all the time. And it's like really hard sometimes to just sit back and realize like, I am who I am and I always will be. So it doesn't matter, like, as long as I'm being me every day, it doesn't matter if anyone sees me being me. Does that make sense? Like,
and again, I don't know if you guys, because I post a lot, and that's why. But like I just did like a little like self-interview in a sense, where I talk about how a lot of people, and especially because of the documentary, everybody's like, you gotta document this, you gotta document that, you gotta, make sure like every process of like your journey's being like put somewhere, showed somewhere, people see it, and it's like that's a content creator. You know what I mean? And like a lot of times it's like, are you a content creator or are you an artist? You know what I mean? Like what? Because like it's different. Or you're an entertainer. You know what I mean? Because all three different things are they fall under the same like umbrella, but they're all three different things. So I have to like sit with myself and be like, I'm an artist, not a content creator. I'm an artist, not a content creator. I'm an artist, not a content creator. You know what I mean? Because like this is what people want. Because the more people see you, the more they're gonna understand who the artist is, and they're gonna like connect with you, and they're gonna fuck with you more. Because like this is what the generation we live in. But at the same time, it's like, yes, but I don't need to record myself vibing to a song every single time like I'm smoking, or every single time that I eat I have to show you where I'm eating, or every single time I go out with somebody I have to show you where I'm at, and every single time like I'm seen with somebody I have to take a picture. Like I don't have to, like, you know what I'm saying? But you kind of have to, because now it's part of being an artist. It's like creating your own content, and so like there's all this pressure where like now you have to be seen a certain way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And now it's like social media. Even with everything that we've been working on, social media is just like a facade. You know what I mean? Like it really is like when you go on my IG, you're not gonna meet Victor. You're gonna meet Saiyajinka, and like all the projects that he's working on, and all the different things that we have going on, and like you're not gonna like get to sit down and like pick out my brain and like really get to understand where I'm coming from, or even like I've been. I use Twitter for like, again, like it's, and again, like you have to be okay with like having like your creative spirit be alive. That's the ego. Like a lot of times you have to feed the ego to make sure that like you're creatively alive in that sense, but like you can't let it take over either, because that ego is it's just an ugly energy. So like again, it's one of those things where Twitter to me is a free space where I can say whatever it is that I want. And like if I feel a certain type of way, even if it's like a negative way, if it's like, yo, why isn't so and so showing me love? You know what I mean? I'll just post it up because that's how I feel. But then I'll sit back in my own time and like sit with that thought and like see how it makes me feel. So then at times it just feels right, and I'll post it on IG, and I'll have people message me like, yo, bro, like your love, and like, like I care about you. And it's like, no, thank you. Like I do appreciate the messages, because like they do mean a lot, but it's more of like that I feel so hard sometimes that's how I would word it, but that's not exactly how I mentally and emotionally feel at the same time. And so it's just one of those things where like you have to feel certain things, negative or positive. You know what I mean? You have to really sit down with like, why don't I like that person? Like, what is it that bothers me about that person? Or what is it that makes me so like self-conscious about a certain situation? You know what I mean?
Or why did that make me so angry just then today? You know?
Like where did that come from? You know what I mean? Like did was it that it got me angry, the thing that they did, or that they did it to me, or that they decided to do it to me at a certain like situation? You know, you start thinking about this shit, and it's like I it's just one of those things where it like really builds up to like again your own mental health, like your own mental like state, really like to a sense, like I don't know, like social media like is a way for you to show people how you're mentally doing, like subconsciously, if it makes sense. You know what I mean? Because even when you're feeling good, you'll be posting things up and you're sharing this and you're doing that. But like when you're not feeling good, you step away from it. You know what I mean? And so like it kind of gives people like an opportunity to see when you're being vulnerable, or when you might be going through stuff, or when you might not be fully like your egotistic, like artistic self. And so that's why like sometimes even if I don't want to post, I'll go and start sharing like people's stuff. You know what I mean? Just because like I like in a sense it's like I'm not gonna let social media define what like my mental state is. Like I'm not gonna let it be like, oh, when I'm happy I'm gonna share stuff, and when I'm not, I'm not. Nah, I'm always gonna share stuff because somebody's always watching. You know what I mean? If nobody's watching, that's perfectly fine too, because like it don't really matter at this point. You know what I mean? Like it's a tool. And like, and again, if like there's people that like reach out to me like, oh, why don't you follow me, or why don't you follow me, or like, you know, why don't you be liking my stuff? And it's like sometimes like whatever it is that I'm going through my life or doing with myself might not be ethically like in line with what you might be doing. You know what I mean? Or you might not be motivating me in a certain type of way. Like I think like recently somebody asked me that, and I was like, you haven't posted anything in like a year. So what am I following you for? You know what I mean? Like I clean my like followers every so often just to like make sure that I'm actually seeing the people that are doing stuff, and figuring out like what, like, you know what I mean? Like what's going on.
Yeah.
But if you are following all these random accounts and people that don't do anything, then like, you know what I mean? Like what are you really feeding into your own feed?
Yeah.
So again, it's little things like that, but like, cause that's and then that's what whenever you see me out in person, like I make sure that I show with like a lot of love and like a lot of like, yo, like this is who I really am. You know what I mean? Like if I haven't seen your stuff on like IG, it's just because like the algorithm. You know what I mean? It's not because I don't like you.
Dude, and that's something that a lot of people need to understand, is that like you can love someone and support them and not be following them. You know what I mean? Because it's like you may not even want to like. It could even be a situation where you don't even really like listening to the music sometimes, but you love that they're making music, and you love that they're like feeding their soul and their passion. So you can like, you know, it's not fake love to like go up to them in person and give them a hug and be like, yo, like keep doing your thing, but not have them on your feed every day, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And but that's such a, I get, and it might just have to do with what the culture is. Like maybe to some people it's just like an unspoken way of saying like I fuck with you if I'm like really like sharing your stuff. Again, it's just one of those things where I feel like we're so emotionally communicative through social media that we forgot how to communicate in person. You know what I mean? Like and this one's like they must feel the way they do through social. Like no, you're like I had this situation just recently that. I'm not gonna go into detail because it was just a whole lot of, it was a huge mess, but long story short, like this person came out to hang out with me, and I'm pretty sure they had a certain idea of who they thought I was, and then instead of giving me an opportunity to be who I am, and then created this whole scenario that I don't even know where it came from, and then ended up being my fault for being me. And I was like, why didn't you just be yourself and like let things be, and like not decided to be so weird about the situation? But it was because she didn't want to know who I am, I guess. You know what I mean? She's like, oh, that's Saiyajinka, that's Happy, this dude with all his friends and shit. So again, I feel like there's some people that do treat me a certain way because of who they think I am in social media. and then there's people that know me, and again, even with those people, like, you know, like Ludes, the regular people that I usually like do hang around that might not be in the scene as much, where it's always been love. Like everywhere I go, anywhere I see them, like it's always like the same energy. Like that hasn't changed just because you're not wearing an Injoy shirt. You know what I mean? Like, it's cool, yo. Like now, like, it's fine now. You know what I mean? Maybe with the sand season shirts, it was a little different.
Man, I'm hyped on everything you're doing, bro. For real. And seeing how you've developed Enjoy, and like seeing, because you know, before Enjoy, I would see like people with custom jackets, and like I'd always see you with painted jackets, and it's just like get so hyped on it, and to see it evolve into what it is now, it just like it just seems like it's what you're supposed to be doing right now. You know what I mean?
No, definitely, and that's the thing. It's like and my mom asks me all the time, like she's always like, Are you? Is this really like making you happy? Is this what you want to do? And all the time it's like, yes. Like I was like, you don't understand the people that and it's not even like maybe the people. It's like the situations, the opportunities, the way I've grown. Like King Rock said this shit one time. That was like, the name you make for yourself is different than the one that your mama gives you. You know what I mean? Meaning like your mom names you something, and that's who you grew up being. You know what I mean? I'm Victor. I grew up being Victor. Like I went through the things that I had to go through. But then I came out here and I said, no, I'm Saiyajinka, and I'm putting some weight on that name. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what it is. Like now it's like I go out and you know, that like the people, like not people know who I am, and like I'm well known, but it's like there's always love, and there's always somebody that's gonna welcome me with open arms and respect who I am as a person. And that's something that my parents don't experience on an everyday, that people don't see exactly what I'm going through. But again, like you said, it's sometimes the money isn't always everything, and like being able to, it's crazy, like being able to like create a clothing brand and saying like, this is what I want to do with it, and see it like build itself up to do that. It was like, bro, like if this isn't like what I'm supposed to be doing, then I'm getting like lucky as fuck right now. Cause a lot of things I'm going into, cause like I just like I don't know, I you know, like I didn't go into the signing jacket saying I know the best designs like ever. No, it's like I started doing jackets. It's like, all right, so how much more can we do to design this thing to make it look different? And so like even just like looking into little things like that has opened up my mind to like, there's so much more that I'm not tapping into yet, because like I thought it was like clothes was one thing, and like now it's like a whole different game, and it's like, and it evolves. You know what I mean? Because now it's like, now I'm able to grab what I was doing with the art, throw it in the shirt, then grab what I was doing with the shows, and like make a show that's gonna like help out the shirt. And then we have, you know, people like I said, Kevin and Ivan and Aswab dropping songs with the name of the brand. And you know, like there's I think Kevin, Evan, Magic, and Shelby have that tattoos. So like again, there's so much like build up to what the brand's potential is, that like for me to think like, oh, like it's just lucky. Like I'm just getting like, you know, like I keep shooting like all these like free throws and just making them. Like just no, bro. Like there's a certain type of something that I like, recipe that I figured out, and it works, and it's been working, and like, and just now it's just making sure that like we figure out how to like apply it to everybody else. You know what I mean? Like keep making what we've been doing, but like figuring out how much more can we push this. You know what I mean? Like last year we raised almost $3,000 just to like donate back for food for the homeless. We did that back for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? Like, and then like, even me and Ivan were kind of like, we weren't even expecting to make enough money to pay for the shirts that we were ordering, because it was so like last minute. But again, just reaching out to people, reaching out to like different connections that we had, and just like linking back up with people that we knew from like 3-4 years ago, and like finding the right sponsors, and the money just came. we were able to buy like the things that we needed to. We were able to provide the meals that we wanted to. You know what I mean? And so like it's again that's why like when I sit and think of like, okay, so like what can we do next? Like how much more can I do to make sure that we keep pushing this brand to do more? And at this point, like the only thing that's like stopping me from doing bigger things is money. You know what I mean? Which is everybody's issue. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, this year I said I'm gonna do stuff and then I'm gonna figure out how much money I need. Nah, I'm not gonna look at the money and then do stuff. It's like if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna plan it out. This is what we're doing. Budget's $2,000-$3,000. We're saving up $2,000-$3,000 and then throwing it right back into the idea that we want to do. You know what I mean? But it's but again, that's where all the business savvy stuff kind of comes into play, and that's where I fail a little bit. But it's part of growing up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? A lot of us are kids trying to do this whole like adult world thing, and it's like, you know what? At this point, fuck it. you guys were about to give me a student loan, like give me like a business loan, and like let's really do this.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Man, I'm excited to see what this time 2023 looks like for you. You know what I mean? Just thinking about like 12 more months of doing what you're doing.
I don't know, like, cause even this year, it's like getting ready for like 1 year of Injoy. It's like, okay, you know, we last year was dope. You know, we had like a little show. We had the whole release party with the Scene Fest with Angela, and you know, it was a good event. It was a good release. I think I did what I wanted to do, but like now I'm thinking bigger, and it's like, how much more bigger can I go with still doing it as a street artist? And again, to me, like Injoy is still like community. You know what I mean? So I'm still looking at how do we reach out to everybody in the community? You know what I mean? But then I think about stuff like, well, maybe let Injoy be what's gonna be like it's always been, and I wait till June and like plan a Saiyan season. Since I haven't done that like 2-3 years, and it's like, you know, now there's ideas. You know what I'm saying? So like, and even like that, I was listening to that Bill Swab podcast about like, and then it kind of brought me back to like bringing Busy back out. You know what I mean? And like, and if he does watches, listens, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying this to him, but like, it's been one of those things where I know he's been reaching out. He's like, bro, let's do something. And I'm like, yes, let's do something. Like, I'm really trying to really put like a budget into it. And like, again, bringing a Saiyan season would be cool because it's, like I said, something I haven't done, and it's a different way to reminisce and bring things back. You know what I mean? But again, it's all work. You know what I mean? And like figuring out that everybody's just doing their own thing in a sense. And back then, I think it worked mostly because we were all still trying to figure out what like the scene was, and everybody's trying to like, not that they're not trying now, but like it was like like how would you use it? It was like a different season. You know what I mean? It was like different characters. It was like everybody was just getting into the scene, and we were all just getting to know each other, and everybody's excited about everything. And so like you put 4 or 5 years in that, and now there's egos, and then there's like issues between people, and then there's drama, and you know what I'm saying? And it's not like the same being able to get all the same people in the same room, and you have like all these new characters like doing their thing, and it's like it's a lot. But again, like the one thing that I've always prided myself in has been doing crazy random shit like that. So definitely it's in the works. I think for my birthday I had 25 artists come out. This was like back in like 4 or 5 years ago when I had like this huge ass birthday show. So it might be something like that too. See, people might want to come out, do 1-2 songs, get everybody out there, because people come out because they're gonna perform. Otherwise, most people don't come out. You know what I mean? So again, there's a lot this year. There's a lot, and like I figure like after my birthday, I'd be able to just chill out until Thanksgiving again, and maybe Thanksgiving this November, December type thing, and we'll wrap up the year. But you know, who knows at this point? Like there's so many different things that can happen in between, and I'm very open minded to want to do more. So I know that the right people are gonna come into my life where like we're gonna get that work rolling. Because like I said, like all last year, last year was just like at the end of the year, it was just shit. Like I felt like after, I don't know if you guys knew, I went to Cali. But when I came back, it just felt like I had failed at everything that I wanted to do. And so that's why, like, once this year started, I was like, okay, well, I failed and I didn't get what I wanted last year. It's okay. Like, we're going to try again this year. And it's like, and you know, like, it's not like I didn't do anything last year. You know, we got a lot done. But it's like we could have just pushed a little bit harder. So then this year, like, I'm trying to come out with a different mentality and just push. You know what I mean? Push. See what the opportunities are. Like, say yes to everything that comes my way. And if I don't know how it works, I'll figure it out then. Cause you know what I mean? Like, what else am I gonna lose at this point?
Yeah, dude. Exactly.
And it sounds like you've gotten really good at being hyped, like just being thankful and hyped on where you are now, and not having to worry about like what 12 months from now is going to look like, not having to worry about what the next step is or like where things are going. You've gotten good at just being where you're at and just, you know, enjoy being, you know, mindfulness, just like being present. Yeah, and just you know, being thankful every single day. You know, like every day is its own day, and be in it. Be in today. You know, don't be in tomorrow. Don't be in yesterday. Be in today.
Exactly. But people hate me for that though. Because they're like, you're not organized, man. You need to fix. You know, but that's what I try to tell people. It's like, I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, I don't believe in time. Like, you gotta tell me in 6 months, in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. I don't believe in none of that. Because the last 10 years feel like it was 2 years. You know what I mean? Like, you think like last year or like the 2000s, and you're like, oh yeah, like 2000s, which is, you know what I mean? Just a little bit ago. But like, nah, bro, it's been 20 years now.
Yeah.
So like, planning for me, it's been a little hard. But again, this is what you need. Like, you need like a tribe. Like, you can't survive on your own in a sense. Like, you're always gonna need somebody like next to you to tell you like, nah, man, like this is how. so like, again, it's just one of those things where now I'm surrounded by people that I'm like, yo, I have all these ideas and I have all these plans. I just don't know how it's gonna happen. And knowing me, like 2 weeks before the event, I'm gonna let you know all about it. But this year, like I said, there's certain things that I really wanna just plan out. Just because when you plan things out a little longer and like really get your head, like not even like on exactly what you want, but just like where you're sort of heading.
Yeah,
and like
the general direction.
Like, your North Star. That's like my dude Jason Teeter. He's one of the. I don't know if you guys know about what Kinetic South Florida is. They're like a platform of entrepreneurs that help other entrepreneurs legitimize their businesses in a sense. So you go through different classes and different like their courses. You know what I mean? You do for like 6 months. You sit down with all these people and you talk about LLCs, like websites, like what your business really needs. Like, this is where Angela went with Love Your Rebellion, and she ended up becoming a nonprofit. When Malik changed from Curate to Curate Entertainment, he went through that entrepreneurship, and they're the people that were kind of like, do this. You know what I mean? Like, there's been like, this is like, I think this was like their third like graduating class. And I think Malik and them were part of like the second one. And so I went through that, where it was like they were like really like trying to help me realize like how to like figure out my business, you know what I mean? And Jason was the one that was like, he drew out this whole poster for me, and again, I feel like I might have to like re-look at it this year. And it was like, you know, like, you always gotta have your North Star, because if you just play off goals, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna like, okay, you know, drop this, do the show here, do showcasing here, but then you do the showcase here, and then you get some commissions, and then you try to get into the commissions, and you get into another idea, and like, you already lost exactly where you were going. But like, if you got that North Star, you always know where you're heading. You, no matter how many stops you make here, you're still gonna get there. You know what I mean? So he's always like, yo, just think bigger. Like, just let me know, like, you know, you just gotta really like sit down, like, see what your bigger is, and then just go for it. You know what I mean? Because once you get there, then you're gonna know exactly like where you're heading. So like last year, that was like my North Star was just like, how can I help people? You know what I mean? It was like a whole like 5-6 months of like just dropping clothes and like the photo shoots and showing up for people till we were able to do the food drive for Thanksgiving. You know what I mean? So like the Northern Star was always there, and I always knew what I was heading. I just had a bunch of little stops in the way that kind of like almost made me step away from, but we were easily able to jump in. And so like this year, and I've said it since like the first day, I was like, I want to change the world. And like the only way that you change the world is by changing yourself. So like this is why it's so important for me to be mindful and like change who I am. Because like the more I change and the more people see how much I change, then that's gonna create a wave of people trying to be better too. You know what I mean? Whether they do
100%.
whether they do it because they're like, why is this dude doing it? Or they're doing it because they're like, yo, like I want that for myself too. You know what I mean? Which is, again, if you don't want something for yourself, like at this point, it's like, I can't do anything for you, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's what I mean. Like like I said, I get so many opportunities to just be a better person that at times I just feel like that's just the world, like the universe testing me. You know what I mean? Like, are you gonna take the easy road, or are you gonna work hard for your stuff? You know what I mean? And 9 out of 10 times, if I take the easy road, it ain't it. it ain't it.
Yeah.
And I even had like I was talking on this little like voicemail, little like skit that it was like a skit. It was like just like a voicemail that I was supposed to send out a couple of like weeks ago that I couldn't face myself to really tell anybody. And it like one of the conversations that comes out of it was like, everybody that I'm working with right now, I'm making sure that they're getting paid, because I understand that like that's ultimately what pays the bills and what keeps people motivated. Sometimes is making sure that they're getting paid for their work, and I get it. Yeah, completely respect that. But if how much you're getting paid is gonna be your priority, then that's how big your project's gonna be. So like now your project's only as big as the budget. You know what I mean? Like, but if I'm working with somebody that's working because they're motivated, now the project's as big as the motivation is, regardless of how much you're getting paid. You know what I mean? So like there's like, again, it's perspective, but like it's perspective that matters. You know what I mean? I'd rather sit and like work on certain projects with people, like kicking it back with my friends and like getting different ideas running and trying to see how we can all benefit, how we can all like split like the cake, instead of having to sit with a professional team that I'm paying that are trying to come up with certain ways for me to get the most money so they can get the most money out of it too. You know what I mean? Because then again, it goes back to like, all right, so like he's only gonna work as hard as how much you're gonna pay him. You know what I mean? So it's the little things like that it really makes you think. What, like, again, people are always like, I want to make it, I want to be there, I want to, you know what I mean? But like, what's making it if you really don't know what you're doing once you make it? You know what I mean? You really don't know who you're surrounded by once you make it. Then what's you know what I mean? What's the whole deal? What's the point? Like, what if you just paying all these other lawyers and you just, and we've seen that like 1,000 times for different people's careers.
Yeah.
So like shit does happen, but at the same time, like I said, even if like I don't become like the biggest brand that the world has seen, but I'm able to impact people's lives, then I think I'm making it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
I think I'm doing. I think I'm definitely like making a difference on like what the reality of what's around me is. You know what I mean? Even if I'm not, you know. And then again, who knows? Because sometimes I think about this. Like then my next step would just be traveling and really getting into people's faces with what the brand is and showing them in person. But like that would be making it. But that also involves a lot of traveling and a lot of like staying in rooms and like not eating well and like, you know, like that's the whole tour life type thing.
Yeah.
So again, it's like you really gotta think about like how you wanna go about it, how you wanna make it, how you like the situations you really put yourself into, you know, with social media and like the internet. It's like you don't need to leave your house and you can be this huge artist. You know what I'm saying? But again, what's your value, who you are, where your head is, where's your mentality? Like a lot of artists want to do that whole like I don't want people to know who I am. I just want people to know the art.
Right.
It's like I get it. You know what I mean? Like for some people that does work. For some people you can stay at home and make beats and like rap songs and like that's gonna be enough for you to get some type of light. But like to me, it's like I can't post pictures of the things that I do all the time and expect people to understand what it is. Like I need to go out and like meet people, like really talk how people see certain things in person, and then really like be able to sell who I am as an artist.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, like it's different. It's people again. It's just everybody's just so different. Everybody's just so, in a sense, unique. You know what I'm saying? No matter how much you try to like figure people out, like it goes back to again. You know what I mean? It's just you just gotta experience life as what it is for who you are.
For sure, for sure, dude. Yeah, intention's big. Yeah, I've learned a lot about people, just not only with the podcast, but for my job. Like I'm in sales, and I'm sitting down with like multiple people a day, every day, talking to them for hours. Aside, you know, and it's crazy. And then I do the podcast too. But yeah, like just again, yeah, like you said, figuring people out is a fucking art in itself, dude. Yeah, like, yeah, people are so different. Everybody's different.
You want to wrap it up pretty soon?
Yeah. We've been going for some time.
I wanted to give you a couple things. I wanted to give you a little gift pack.
Ooh.
We're very limited on shirt sizes, so I got.
Don't even.
So first here I got this is like some stickers and stuff. We got with the shirts we got size small City of Palms podcast. There's only 2 left, both small.
Both small. Okay,
So,
I'll take one.
I wanted to give that for you, and then my shred shirts are I don't have any larges. I don't know if you're large or XL. I only have extra large though.
Perfect.
Hey, all right. So I get shred shirt, City of Palms shirt.
Thank you. I
And
appreciate
then
that.
this little wizard guy that I had painted a while back, I wanted to give to you, and the Daily Grind book. I don't talk about it on the podcast too often, but I published a book back in November of just the daily doodles and stuff I do on Instagram.
How was the release party?
It was awesome, dude.
Yes.
Good,
And it was one of those things where like I didn't know how it was. Kind of like you were saying with your Thanksgiving show. Like you don't know exactly how it's all gonna come together, but then by the end of it, it was like it worked exactly as it needed to. The people who needed to get paid got paid. Like the money was made, and it wasn't like because it wasn't about the money. It was a success, you know.
And you get to experience it with like I feel like the right people that pretty much build you up to who the Brian that wrote the book is. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And it was there's just so much love, dude. Like a lot of it just felt like the people who were there were people that like. Just a lot of mutual support, a lot of mutual love, you know? It was like no one was doing it for the money, it felt like, you know what I mean? Even though, like you said, I want to pay the people involved. We want to pay artists that perform. We want to pay people who help us do sound, like, and anything like that. So money was an aspect, but it wasn't like no one was there because they were like, when's my paycheck coming? You know what I mean?
Exactly. No, definitely. That's dope. That's dope. I was in there because I was in LA. That was definitely like, I had plans to be out there. Because again, you guys are part in a sense, and I don't mean to like box you guys in either. You know what I mean? But you guys have like this weight behind the things that you guys do, and people like know you guys for really like just knowing what the culture is. You know what I mean? Like knowing exactly, because like you guys don't focus on just like this one lane. You know what I mean? Like you guys are all over the place. Like not always like on scene, but you guys like know who your people are. You know what I mean? And like and again, you guys' family as the City of Palmcast is so big that like it's like a vibe. Like you know the people that have been at the City of Palmcast are gonna have this whole like energy towards them. You know what I mean? So again, even that like it's just to condemn you guys to like
Thank you, bro.
really just say like again, you guys have done a lot more than it shows for what Southwest Florida is. You know what I mean? For being a podcast. You know what I mean? Like you guys, I feel like are one of like not just like the longest running podcast like that's like on right now, but you guys have figured out a way to like spice it up. You know what I mean? Like and then you have to plan like a lot of different things. Like you said, you guys are both like really busy with your schedules and just trying to find some time to like even like with the artists, you know, like Saturday night people are doing shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
but again, it's work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like you have to like really be strict with what you're building up on. You know what I mean? And again, just like seeing like the whole like setup and like just how it's evolving like through the years. It's like, yo, like, congrats, you know.
Thank you,
Dude,
bro.
those words
Yeah, that
mean a
means
lot to us, really.
For real.
Because sometimes I sit, because when you like, you should never compare yourself to anyone or whatever, but like sometimes I do think of us as a podcast. I get worried about like, what is our lane? Like, what is it? Some people have like a horror podcast, and so all they talk about is like horror stuff. If you're a fan of like horror and whatnot, you listen to that podcast. And it's like sometimes I get worried and like a little insecure about like, what is City of Palms podcast? But it's like, it is what we say it is, you know. It's like we started a podcast to shine light on talented individuals, period. And that, so it doesn't have to like fit any agenda. It doesn't have to accomplish any goal. It's realistically just, we live here, we enjoy these things and these artists, and like if you want to be along for the ride, listen to the show too, you know, because it's like we do talk to a lot of interesting people and like people who catch our interest, and so maybe they won't interest you, but it's one of those things where like not every episode has to appeal to everyone, you know. It doesn't have to be a show where like every Monday whenever City of Palms uploads, you're there at like starting it, you know what I mean? It doesn't have to. It can just be like, oh, you've heard of Lutz as well, so like you saw Lutz did a freestyle for the City of Palms guys, and so you click on that, you know what I mean? And
yeah, no, for sure.
so your words mean a lot, dude, honestly, because like we've tried hard over the years to like find find what we are and like what goals we need to accomplish, and I think we're doing it, you know what I mean?
Heck yeah.
That's so dope, and it always goes back to, like I said, it's one of the things that's been like on my mind with the creative, like how creatives evolve. It's like I have this whole comic book idea of creative spirits. So like pretty much in a sense, it's like your creative spirit is pretty much Professor Shred. You know what I mean? And like throughout the years, you're able to build him up for him to be like an energy sort of thing. You know what I mean? And like as like, you know, you have your artists that are just starting to get confident in who they are, and they're just getting into the scene and still like using their regular name for certain things. And it's like, that's cool, you know what I mean? But like as we're evolving, you know what I'm saying, us that have been here like 4 or 5 years now, it's like now you're solidifying on that character or that like creative,
And roots are starting to grow, you know?
exactly, and that you're more connected to who that like that ego is, and you just can like communicate and do things a lot better. So like again, like I said, it's like you don't see it on everybody, but like again, you guys have been able to like put on those faces, you know what I mean? Like, and this is why you guys, like, people know exactly who you guys are. Like I was supposed to be coming with Evan, and because he was like, yo, I love this guy. It's like, I'm dying to come on, like, you know, just like chill and shit.
Yeah.
But like he ended up oversleeping, so I couldn't pick the most of his loss. But but again, it you guys have done that. You know what I mean? You guys have been able to create that off of like and then again, like you say, like maybe it's not like every episode is not for everybody, but again, even doing that is like and a strategy that not a lot of people think of, because people are like, oh, it's easier to stay in one lane. Instead, you guys decided like, nah, like spread out the highway a little bit. And, like let's just do this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's dope. That's dope.
Heck yeah.
Thanks, man.
All gas, no brakes.
Hey.
And we've talked a lot about the things you do and the things you're currently doing and maybe are going to do very soon and stuff. But if you wanted to plug anything in particular for the people to look out for, or anyone you wanted to shout out in particular, this camera is still going. If you wanted, you don't have to look at the camera, but you know, now is your time to plug whatever you want to plug.
Plug the whole team now. Like I said, it's just a big shout out to everybody that's been helping me build up Enjoy to what it is. You know, Ivan's fucking angel. Like that dude like holds me down on the days that I sometimes I don't know. Anthony as well, he's been my right hand when it comes to building up what the brand was. Joe pulled me into close. So Joe's always like very active in everything that I do. Kevin speaks truth. It's always like, again, there's just people that are like not there always like hands on building something for me, but they're always like, hey, message, I love you, bro. Like, I hope you're doing good this week. You know, I mean, with Evan, I stay in touch, bro. Like, I know we haven't spoken in a little bit, but like, yo, I just want to say, I love you. Like, I hope you're doing good. You know, everything, like Shelby, hey, when are we gonna go skate? Just because like just going skating, it's just like therapy. You know what I mean? Like, I've been just recently working with Rashida, Latin. she's been again, like I have all these doubts and shit, and it's like I'm able to like come to her and be like, yo, like help, and she's always like, chill out, you know, you got this, like, you know, like believe in yourself, like ground yourself. You know, like True Cali has been like, again, if it wasn't for Cali Dad, there wouldn't be a online presence for what Injoy is, you know what I mean? Like, and again, there's so many different like creatives, like there's so many different people that like being an artist is hard. Being able to get like genuine, real support constantly, you know what I mean? Like I understood people like giving me love like the first year, buying a shirt here or there, but like 4 years, 5 years of me doing like doing what I'm doing, and people still trying to figure out like what is he doing, and just again, like I said, being able to just be surrounded by so many like incredible people, it's like I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? Like big shout out to, again, like I said, everybody, because without them people, it's like I wouldn't have much. I would just be painting on my own stuff and hoping for people to still like see the value into the things that I'm doing, but they see the value in me. They see that that even if I might not be the best choice, I'm a good choice. You know what I'm saying? They gave me the opportunity to do what I do, and I mean, like the universe, like big shout out to the universe, yo, like the way that, like, again, it's I bro, like this is the craziest thing I'm gonna say in the whole podcast. Like the way that the universe communicates back sometimes, it gives me chills. You know what I mean? Because I really be sitting down and like egotistically like saying like why is it not me? You know what I mean? Like egotistically saying like why am I putting in so much work and it's still not me? Why is there like why do I work so hard and people still overlook me? You know what I mean? Like why is it about me that like it's not special? But again, I'm here. So like if there wasn't anything special that I was doing, or like the universe wasn't really like responding or listening to what I'm saying, then I wouldn't be doing the things that I am. But again, things happen. I somehow oddly end up in the places that I need to be, always where where I'm supposed to be, and that's like I said, it's like when it's my time to go or when the gift is gone, I'll be gone, and I'll have all these lessons and different like things that I have learned from the universe. You know what I mean? And from that, like, call me crazy all you want, but like I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's I think that's the biggest shout out. Shout out to you guys, yo. Like you guys, thanks, episode 111. Yo, like what is this?
Yeah. 111. And thinking something that trips me out is thinking about like every episode's at least an hour, sometimes 2. 111 times we've done that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's again, but that's energy. Like a lot of people don't get that. Like a lot of people can't do that. A lot of like you know, like I said, it's not easy. Like being able to really put yourself in those shoes and be like, yo, I did this. Like I started 2 years ago, and like now I'm episode 1 and like over 100 episodes. Like not a lot of people can mentally do that.
Yeah, dude. It's been wild.
And we really appreciate you being here, dude, too, because something that like we are often like sometimes worry about, like, man, we really want to have like such and such, like why have we not had such and such on yet, and this and that. And what helps us, like comforts us, is just thinking about the timing thing. It's like it all happens as it needs to, and sometimes if we feel bummed because we didn't get such and such on when we originally planned, it's because they weren't ready to come on yet. Something in the universe or whatever, like they weren't supposed to be on that day. So then later down the road, whenever they finally do come on, it's because that is when they were supposed to be on. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
And I think that sometimes with the success thing, like how you, like as an artist, sometimes you do think like, why don't I have my flowers yet? Like why I put so much in, why am I not like there yet? You know what I mean? Or why haven't I achieved what like other people have achieved who seem like they're doing less than I am? But it's like, but that too, so like what helps comfort me is like maybe where I'm supposed to be, like that like level I want to be at, or whatever level of like success or whatever you want to call it, maybe like what's in store for me, like what God has in store for me, I'm not ready to hold that weight yet. You know, I still need to be built a little. I still need to like improve something of my character until until I can finally have the strength to hold that up. You know, that's dropped on me. Whenever God's ready, like, here it is, Brian. That's what you need. I can hold it now. You know what I mean?
And that's it's like, you know, before we finish this, just get really, really vulnerable and personal, because that's what I'm doing this year. And that's one of the things that I told Ivan. You know, I was like, when a lot of the people that I was around were coming on the podcast, and like again, it was just one of those things where I was like, yo, like I know I'm doing this and I know I'm doing that, and like, you know, I don't know them like this, you know, I'm like, I don't really personally know them too, but like yo, like what else I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? And then he's like, yeah, bro, but it's just very calmly, he's like, yeah, bro, but like now it's better. And I was like, I mean, yeah, but like even like when like you reach out, I was like, this is cool, but like I don't, like I said, I was like mentally speaking, my ego was like, nah, I don't have anything to talk about, because like I've been waiting for this moment for so long that like maybe this isn't it, you know what I mean? Like I already felt rejected then, so like I'm gonna go back to that rejection feeling now. And so then when he was like, nah, bro, but it's fine, like it's better now. And I was like, yeah, bro, but like there was like, sir. And I stopped and I was like, you know what? Yeah, he is like, he is right. You know, it goes back to like, and again, this year, like I said, I sat down, like you said, like, you know, it's kind of hard to give people like the roses when they're meant to be, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the one thing that, like, again, with mindfulness, it was like, yo, I'm going to give everybody the roses when I have the chance, because I'm here, and like, I'm the fucking flower boy, because that's what Injoy is all about. And so like him, like, saying it made me feel good, because it made me feel like I released that emotion that like I didn't have to deal with. And then I was like, you know what? I was like, in a sense, I was like, even if I don't have a lot to talk about myself, there's other people around me that like I could still use the time and the energy to kind of have a conversation with you guys about. You know what I mean? But again, it's like the ego hits, you feel the emotion, you let it out, you like figure out what the fuck, and then you go back to it. And then it's like, no, I wasn't upset that I wasn't on the show. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't upset that they were looking over me. I was upset at myself that I felt like I wasn't working hard enough. You know, off of like an opinion that you guys probably weren't even thinking about. You know what I mean? Like, of an opinion of like that I made up for you guys already in my head. So again, coming out here, like, again, with that, like, with being able to let go of that and being able to talk to Ivan about it and just be like, I feel good about coming out. I feel like I do feel better about coming out. And again, at the end of the day, like, I'm as thankful as I would have been then, even probably 10 times more now. You know what I mean? Because now I understand it. Like, now, like you said, maybe I wasn't ready. And I hear when people tell me that, when they're like, maybe you're just not ready for it. It's like, no, I've been ready my whole life. I want to go get it. But sometimes you really aren't ready. Just like, you know, just because you want something doesn't mean that it's there. But it should definitely like fill you up or pull you up to like want to get there, or like, you know, like not make you stop doing stuff. You know what I mean? And like, yeah. and hopefully whoever's listening to this that might have not been able to come out yet, like, really realizes and comes to peace with like that idea of like, time comes when time, like, it's meant to come for you. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's like death or whether it's like your 15 minutes of fame. You know what I mean? And like, the only thing you can do is enjoy it.
yeah. And that's facts.
So no, thank you guys. Like, it honestly, like, means the world, like, just being here. And, like,
yeah, dude, thank you, bro. Thank you.
And where can they find us at, dude?
You can find us at City of Palms Podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube. New episodes every Monday. Hey. This has been episode 111.
Hit him with the outro, Biscuit.